Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to do another One Piece chapter review, chapter 1115, Pieces of a Continent. I would have done this chapter review a bit sooner, but I got hay fever and I wasn't feeling in the best conditions at the time. My was gotten much worse. So I didn't want to keep blowing my nose at once out every 5 seconds in a stream, so which I know sounds disgusting. I apologize, but I figured, you know what, might as well see when I'm feeling a bit better, then I can do this review. And I'm doing this review now because Lucky Chi hopefully will be able to join me tomorrow as we do a chapter discussion on Dead Rock. Anyway, just a quick note. I'm not sure if I made a sort of regards to let's see, from like the last chapter about something about meters with America and their metric system, but I'll get to that when I talk a bit about this chapter here. But yeah, pretty much last chapter pretty much had Vegapunk revealing his message to the world. Some, let's see, about the world going to sink. Some are skeptical, like those of the residents of Mocktown. Others are like a bit worried to believe that the entire world is. But once Vegapunk showed that his predictions are more or less accurate about the earthquakes that happened today, people started taking a bit more serious. And he also revealed at the end that the Void Century was a conflict that was led by Joe Boy, who was regarded as the first pirate, where he had the Straw Hats continuing their battles, particularly Luffy, with Gear 5 trying to hit Top Man Rokuri, which is quite actually impressive because Rocker, even with Gear 5, Top Man Rokuri was shown to have, I think, very strong endurance. Or am I getting the chapters mixed up? Hold on. Nope. I believe that is the case. I know. I'd rather fully rewatch the previous review I did, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah. Anyway, the chapter starts off with, but before we get off, we start off with the one on cover, where it's Ogre Child, Yamato's Golden Harvest, Circuit Pilgrimage, Volume 5. Hiyori and Okuto are picking me a bento lunch, where we see Hiyori, which I think many people mistaken her for a Kitsu or Kuri, I think, where let's see, because let's see, Hiyori and her look kind of similar. Though granted, of course, Kitsu, or let's see, I believe got her. Hold on, I'm going to get the name actually. 9 Scabbards. One Piece. Let's take a look. Let's see. Kiku. Yeah, Kiku has pretty much an arm ripped off, had an arm sliced off by Kaido. So, yeah, I think, let's see. So those wait, did the arm go back? But no, it's Hiyori, which I'm fine with, let's see, seeing this. I think it's kind of nice. You see Yamato smiling as they prepare the lunch. Otoko is just smiling as always, looks the specks of the smile fruit, but I think it's probably genuine happiness that she's helping Yamato with the lunch. I think it's nice that Hiyori is doing this, since Yamato is doing tasks that for let's see, Yashiri Okuto's father. So let's see, she's helping paying tribute in that regard. So I think that's a little nice thing that they're helping out, at least, even if it's just giving Yamato a bunch of lunches. Anyway, speaking of Wano, the chapter begins in the flower capital of Wano, where let's see, some members of Wano Star, some of the people of Wano are surprised that they were able to find a signal, but let's see, transponders now, that Orochi apparently had in his castle. But Vegapunk continues going about why he was called a pirate, it's in this message, where you have Momonosuke just eating his what appears to be dumplings, saying, so you were a pirate, Joe Boy, like Luffy, with we see Kimimon asking if Momonosuke has actually heard him, and you hear I think you have Shinobu and Tama. Let's see, listening in on the thing while Tama's just eating a dango, I think. While they're either way, they're just listening in. And then we cut to Naval Brig, the brig of Naval Base G4, where we see none other than the fake Straw Hat pirates, who are now posing as the fake Kid pirates. Let me just get the current wiki page. So at what appear to be having Demo Black as Captain Kidd. We have, I believe, Turco, fake Frankie, as let's see, Wire, and we have I believe we have let's see, Majro, the fake Zorro, posing as Heat from the Kid Pirates. You have Drip posing as Killer, and Drip posing as Killer as the, let's see, for the fake Straw Hats. So yeah, they've got all this they're pretending to be the Kid Pirates, but they're pretty much in the jail cell, so they can't do anything. But they're going on about Joe Boy. I don't believe he's stronger than our captain. Going like that, Captain Kidd, with Captain Kidd saying to just leave the guy alone since he's already dead. And then fake Zorgon's like, the captain we love and admire. The Kid's the most generous guy around. With Captain Kidd saying, there's no way that I'm weaker than Joy Ball. Though, boy, when someone tries to correct him. Well, granted, I think depending on the translation, you might accidentally call Joe Boy Joe Toy. But, yeah. Anyway, we then cut to the Marines who are being shocked by this revelation on Egghead about the first pirate. With Vegapunk going about how he's only read let's see, from a handful of polyglyphs, but what Ethan found was a record of a breathtakingly fast war, revealing that Joe's boy's enemies was what would be now known as the world government in the present day, with some Marines going particularly shocked to one going wait, isn't that us? I mean, granted, it kind of looks like a Fishman from this angle. Or am I being prejudiced towards Fishman? I apologize to Fishman. But, let's see. But another Marine with, long hair says, well, he was a pirate, so that kind of checks out. With, Vegapunk, let's see, going about, let's see, with, Top Man Rokuri just going angry and just, chasing Luffy, just shouting his name as Luffy and the Giants are running away. With Vegapunk saying, more accurately, it was the precursor to the world government, saying that it was the alliance of an armies of 20 kingdoms that forged this grand alliance and then later became known as the world government, saying that, as we see Marcus Mars walking through the lab of Egghead using Conqueror's Hockey, knocking out a few transponder snails. Let's see, angry with the words Vegapunk keeps going on about. As Vegapunk explains, you might say that no other choice so robust as let's see, Joe Boy's faction was so robust in strength that we then see a little silhouette of Joe Boy, a first appearance of Joe Boy, who looks very much like Luffy in his Nika form, fighting what appears to be multiple kings and crowns. We don't see, of course, 20, of course. We see at least 3, but a bunch of other swords as well. But Vegapunk goes without knowing the spark that caused this war, he can't really say who's right and wrong. But he simply would say that it was at least a clash between two ideologies. And then we cut to Shanusha in the New World, where we see Zao. As Vegapunk says, as I mentioned, this was 300 years ago, and saying that the country of Joy Boy's birth was a very advanced civilization. As we cut to, hold on, I'm just getting the. As we then cut to, I believe, the residence of Zhou, where we see pretty much Carrot, the Three Musketeers, or the three. Hold on, let me just history, the members. Where's the Minx tribe? we got like the Musketeers led by Chazillion, Consulate, and Giovanni, as well as Wanda. I've forgotten some of their names. Apologies. There's also the Minx Yomo there, and maybe a few more, but I can't really tell at the moment. But let's see. But he goes about how these weapons were so advanced over the course of the that were used in the 100-year conflict, saying that at the current standards would not be current timeline. Ooh, we've got Derpy Entertainment saying, "Hello there," and I'm going like, General Derpy Entertainment. Nice to see you, but I see you've already left my reviews, my stream, so I guess you just left that message there. Well, nice to see that you're here. But anyway, where was I? You go like Vegapunk says that it is impossible to recreate with the latest modern science. With Carrot going like in her leader's uniform, going like, "That's amazing!" But yeah, but then we cut to like what now appears to be a small ship with Foxy's head and a very torn out white sail. Well, poorly stitched together white sail. And we see none other than Foxy, who has now got a mustache. Hold on. With it's a sort of Saturday morning cartoon, so it's like beard and mustache, if you will. And where we have Foxy and his two main crew members, Pochi and Hamburger, going with him, going like, "What's Itzy Vegapunk? Let's talk about. Is it nonsense calling him he's talking peanuts?" With Pochi saying, "I'm starving as a result of what he just says," and then you just got, I think, Humble just whistling or laughing. With Vegapunk then going about how he's a humble genius and he cannot, replicate this technology. Let's see, with Foxy going like, "What are you bragging about?" And then Vegapunk says, "And there lies the problem," as we cut to like the Labo phase. But I'm just gonna cut here and give my bits of views on this so far bit of the chapter. First off, it's nice to actually see Wano again. Granted, I will admit, we've only been like, it's still like we've only just had one arc away from it. Now, granted, we're at the end of like this we're at the climax of the current Egghead arc, but it's nice to kind of see Wano here. And it's interesting to learn that Orochi did actually keep a Den Mushi, which I think makes sense that he would try to keep, something from the outside world so he could keep up-to-date status as like what's going on with the world government and what's Kaido planning to do outside of like Wano, since you need to know what his partner's doing, I guess, outside, or what others might try to do to Kaido towards. But yeah, you got stuff, or maybe just find out if there's any information on like the scabbards that ended up fleeing the island. So there's stuff like that. But I do like how, but it's interesting to see Momonosuke's reaction to this. He seems to be just casually eating a dango, saying like, "Oh, Joe boy, you're a pirate," showing that he's not really. It seems like he's not really too surprised too much about some of the information that's here. So we do know that he read Oden's journal, but how much on the Void Century I think Oden tore off before giving it to Etsy before it came in Momonosuke's possession remains unknown. But it seems Momonosuke might know a bit more than others. But I do like how but it's interesting the fact that Kimimon doesn't seem to know who Joy Boy is. But granted, I guess Momonosuke will be probably explaining to him, and perhaps maybe after the revelations that Vegapunk are going to be doing with these couple of past two chapters, maybe Momonosuke will end up telling the Scabbards all he's learned about what Oden has talked about and doing his own voyages, and why they need to do what they need to do down the line when opening one of those borders at the right time. Anyway, we got the return of the fake kid pirates with Demo Black. Let's see. I remember when the spoilers were first coming out. Let's see, PewDiePie. The one that does the spoilers for One Piece did a sort of tease about, ooh, kid fans would be excited, but then it's like, oh no, it's the fake Straw Hats. Which the way that person did it was kind of a tease, and some kind of took the mick of it, and some kid pirates got a bit upset. Kid fans got a bit upset because it's like it was not the actual Captain Kidd, but some was like thinking, this is others making a joke. But some have made an interesting perception that let's see, when the Straw Hats were assumed to be destroyed years down the line, the fake Straw Hats took their role and pretended to be them. And now that seemingly that the Kid Pirates seemingly got destroyed by Shanks, this has led to some speculating, and now that Kid Pirates are trying to pretend to be them, this leads to some speculation that actually that means that Kid and at least some of the Kid Pirates are going to return, and they are probably, in fact, are alive. And we will probably see them in Elbaf when we get to this arc at last, which I assume will probably be in a couple of months. Let's see, once the last few chapters for this arc have probably finished. So yeah, we're likely going to get return of Kid Pirates. Kid Pirates. I do like how Demo Black and his crew going like, I'm sure you can take on like let's see, Joe Boy. They're not realizing that they've already tried to impersonate the current incarnation of Joe Boy and got beaten as a result of it. Well, in fact, he didn't even need to touch them. Now, granted, I'm pretty certain if Demo Black ends up wearing this outfit, this fake kid outfit in front of the real kid, he's screwed. He is going to be screwed big time. But yeah, I do like how the Marines is just getting a bit more and more shocked about like the information Vegapunk talks about, like how Joe, there was like a first pirate and he was the enemy of the world government, and some of them are like, wait, that was technically us and all that. But they're like, but some of them are like, okay, makes sense because he's a pirate, and Marines are taught their entire lives that pirates are evil. But I do like how Vegapunk goes like saying about how he has no idea which side is good and evil, which is interesting because we always led to believe that the world government side was evil and the Great Kingdom was good. But there might be a bit more nuance where not one side entirely was evil and one side was entirely good. After all, you had the Nefertari family. Let's see, of Alabasta on the 20 Kingdoms side, and then generally good rulers. So there seems to be something wrong. I mean, granted, you also had Doflamingo's ancestors there, but it seems it was like a mix of good kings and bad kings teamed up. But then against like the Great Kingdom, which probably had the most best intentions, but probably also had a few shady things as well. But yeah, though regardless, the world government today is, and specifically the ancestors of the 20 kingdoms and original royal families, are not nice people. In fact, they're amongst some of the most evil and vile in the world. So there, we got that. But speaking of which, I do think it's impressive that it's nice to see Luffy here with like the two giants. Though granted, some might be disappointed that Luffy's running away, but I guess it goes to show you just how impressive it was, even after Luffy tried to attack with Gear 5 and Top Man, and had no effect on Top Man Walker, and in fact just injured himself. So it's like, okay, best to run away. But you can see the anger of the 5 elders that you see in this part of the chapter, where they're just like extremely angry with Vegapunk's words. And we got, and at the very least, we've got confirmation that Marcus Mars has Conqueror's Haki as well, as he's like knocking out transponder snails. And it's safe to assume that the majority or all the 5 elders all have Conqueror's Haki. So yeah, it's kind of actually nice to be impressed and see this level of skill. Now, granted, whether or not they all have the same skill as Top Man Valkyrie did, I'm not sure. But at the very least, you have at least 5. Let's see, Admiral to Yonko tier level. Tier level Conqueror's Haki for subordinates for Emu, showing more of their major impressiveness. But anyway, the most interesting thing to see here is that we finally got a silhouette of Joy Boy for the first time. And it looks a lot more like Luffy than I think we expected. I think most people thought Joe Boy was like either a giant or a buccaneer, but this silhouette doesn't like make it look like that's going to be the case. Though, granted, other silhouettes tend to be vague, and the designs are not always finalized at the end. It could very well be a buccaneer or a giant in the end, but we'll just have to wait and see where it is. But it's nice that we actually got a bit of an appearance, so we got some sort of appearance, so we got an idea about that. But it's interesting how we also got Sinisha listening into Vegapunk talking about Joe Boy. I assume he can hear what Vegapunk's saying. I wonder if this is like Sinisha takes him back to like what sorry about that. Was Vegapunk's work about Joe Boy takes him back to like what actually happened to his former friend and former friend, as he was a companion of Joe Boy. But yeah, but I do like how Vegapunk is just talking about how advanced the civilization was, and it's not even he can like match its skills, if you will. But let's see, with him being a humble genius, so I do like how Foxy kind of points that there should be a bit showboating. But speaking of which, there's the other two guests. We got like it's nice to see Carrot now being sort of like leader of the Mink tribe. Though granted, I still think that it seems like just a way just to get her out of joining the Straw Hat crew. But yeah, and there's probably more older, more experienced ones. But oh well, I guess that was just Oda's way of just giving something for Carrot, I guess. Though granted, I assume that she will help play some part in the final war against the world government. After learning all these details, but I do like how she seems to be so fascinated by the fact that there's an ancient kingdom that was so advanced. I will admit that was not the reaction panels I was expecting from some people. I expected them to show some more shocked reactions. But the most interesting thing here about some of these reactions is that we've got the return of Foxy, and it seems like he's lost too many Davy Black fights that now only has like his two main crew members. So it seems he's gone on hard times since losing to Straw Hat Luffy. I mean, he's had some cameos and appearances in like specials and fillers in the anime, but this is his first appearance in the manga in a very long time, and it seems he's down on the dust. But granted, he doesn't seem to be leaving Vegapunk's words at the moment, though that might change his mind. But it makes me wonder if we're going to see more of Foxy in the future. This is just what we're getting as a cameo about what's happened to Foxy, which I will admit, it's a bit strange. So not even Foxy got a chance to appear in those Where Are They Now cover stories. With the Straw Hats return, let's see, during like in the time skip or their defeat against Doflamingo in the let's see, Dressrosa arc. But yeah, so that is a little bit interesting. Anyway, going on to the next bit of the chapter, we cut back to Stussy, where she's going like it's her, Edison revealing it's him, it's Kaku's listening, telling her to lower the barriers and run as far away as she can. But she's concerned because if she goes down the barriers, before the Straw Hats leave, they could be in trouble. But or they wouldn't be able to. Let's see, they'll be attacked along the way, I think. But Edison says it's not much point in the barriers anymore since they can't really stop those guys from getting past it. So we now see Saint J. Garcia Saturn walking by, also using Conqueror's Hockey. So I mean, him saying that he's done all he can to help the Straw Hats escape. So saying they can take it from here. And so we then cut to Jinbei carrying Zoro, saying I think Nami asking Jinbei in a way, with him apologizing, he's almost there. But Zoro telling Jinbei not to apologize as they were kind of busy fighting. But Nami gets angry at him, saying that is that you, Zoro? I heard you something. Let's see, saying something stupid or something. I'm going to smack you for that. And then Nami just goes saying to just hurry up as they're gathering around the northeast coast and saying that we don't want to land on the water only to get bombarded to bits. as we see Marines ships surrounding like the Elbaf giant ship, with then we cut back to Stussy going like how she's relieved, thinking that Stella would be upset with her if he didn't help them get away. But Innocent says that he wouldn't really do that, telling her to get out here now. But Stella says that she doesn't really know what to do anymore without Stella around, saying, who does she live for now? She just got Kaku just staring on, seemingly feeling sorry for her. Anyway, I'm just gonna then cut to I'm just gonna get to the next few bits here. We see Bonnie, who in her giant form attempts to kick let's see, Nezjuro, where it seems like let's see, Sanji and Omi, I think. Let's see, have been sent flying. Let's see, with the others trying to say, don't let me use the katana. Saying that this old geezer can cut through anything. Let's see, with this Drogo, I'm thinking like saying bio response detected. Kicking Omi and I believe Kashi. And then there's Jiro trying to attack Bonnie with a slice, but Frankie gets her out of the way just before that happens. And and as she's reduced back to her normal size, or at least her adult version's normal size, the top bit, the mass bit of the ship of the giant warrior pirates, the skull thing they have, has been cut off. With Bonnie just going on about how she can't hold that future form for long. With Vegapunk going on about how the Void Century came to a close with Joe Boy's defeat, as we see the Iron Giant and Sinisa. With Nezjuro going like, how long must you jabber on, Vegapunk? With I believe only being a bit surprised where their opponent is going. As let's see, with Nezjuro going like obnoxious by response as he jumps far into the air where the lava space is, where Vegapunk's saying, but not before leaving a vast permanent scars of war across the face of the world, as we see in a double-page spread, Nezjuro cuts Egghead Island, the lava phase, in half, and sending a lot of people flying, particularly the CP Cypherpot agents, and the four Sesfrin as they go flying out of the bubble, landing down on the floor of your world. Some of them think that, let's see, Cypherpot agents, their deaths. Let's see, Sephirim, let's see, really back into action. Anyway, it's nice to see that Edison is just trying to get Stussy to try and leave her post and just take down the barrier now, because there's no point with the five elders being around there. And we get more, and we end up seeing that Saturn actually has Conqueror's Haki, which I think has led to some fans saying, why didn't you use this before? But I guess Oda just figured that best not to. He just didn't want to use Conqueror's Haki at that time, or do a Conqueror's Haki clash, because those are supposed to be very rare and special. But yeah, but either way, it gives some credentials to Saturn. After for a while, people were starting to see him as a bit of a joke, since he appeared to be the weakest of the five elders. But now that But yeah, he's got Conqueror's Haki, and it kind of confirms that they probably all do have Conqueror's Haki, because if he's arguably the weakest, then they all should have it. But yeah, I do like how Stussy is concerned that the Straw Hats are not able to escape while she keeps the barrier here. But once being assured by Edison that he's done all it is to help the Straw Hats able to get out of there. But she should make a run for herself. But interesting enough, Stussy, let's see, now that she knows that Stella has been killed, I'm not sure how she figured it out. I guess she must have listened to the announcement and realized, okay, this is Stella doing a final message or something. At least that's what I assume. But it seems like she's now lost for what to do now since let's see, her creator Stella has now been killed. Probably the closest thing she has to like arguably her father. So she's no idea what her purpose in life is anymore since she was since she pretty much pretty committed to like so pretty being serving Stella and arguably was even betrayed the world government for his sake, but now he's dead. She has no idea what her purpose is. So, in sense, let's see, she's in a sort of, let's see, I guess you could say, a midlife crisis, if you will. Well, at least some sort of like life crisis. Yeah, let's see, life crisis, because like her purpose is now gone. She has no idea what to do. And I do like how Kaku seems to, at least from the way he's looking, feels a bit sorry for us. Like oh, let's see, you no longer have a purpose. Let's see, that must be hard and all that. But yeah. But anyway, Nurse continues to be impressive. And while I might have mentioned how I think someone like Melody wondered if Nurse Joro might have been Sanji's the final opponent, but I think after this chapter, he is probably going to end up being Zoro's, because not only did he impressively pushed aside two giants and Sanji, and would have probably sliced Bonnie, which I will admit is impressive that she's gotten into the giant form. So yeah, she's becoming more and more like Luffy in terms of like the transformations. But I do like how Frankie saves her at the very least, but from being sliced. But yeah, but Nesjuro seems to easily handle them, and then decides to go away and cut off the top of let's see, Egghead's labo face bit in half. That is really impressive in many ways. It's probably the most impressive slash we've seen since Zoro cutting Pika, or even before then. Let's see, Mihawk cutting the icebergs, which is probably more similar to that. So but yeah, so I arguably Nesjuro is probably going to be Zoro's final opponent just because of that impressive feat. I am curious to see how well it fares against Hawkeye's slash, but yeah. There's also interesting that we got from Vegapunk confirmation that the Void Century came to a close with Joy Boy's defeat. And I do like how you got like both Nisha and the Iron Giant there, seemingly sort of like kind of like looking like they're listening in on like Joe Boy's defeat, which is probably something that probably still affects them to this day, as Joe Boy was arguably because they were both either companions or very associated with Joe Boy. But yeah, so I do like how let's see, you got that bit listening there. But interesting thing enough, that's now we've got the Sephiroth and the Cypherport agents. Granted, the Cypherport agents are not going to be any harm to the Straw Hats. In fact, some are wondering, are they going to die from the splat there? But no, in One Piece that won't happen. But it makes you wonder how they're going to respond to like how they've been treated by the Straw Hats, and will that really make them hesitate, or will they betray the world government? Or will they just try to get off the island as much as possible, as it's being busticled? But either way, but the thing is, the Sephiroth are out, and the Straw Hats had trouble with them in just before. But if they have to deal with the Sephiroth and the Five Elders, that's asking for a whole lot of trouble. And one of them could just order them to destroy the Straw Hats, or have York, if they encounter her, to just go and do that job as well, or whatever it is that they want to do with the Sephiroth. But either way, it looks like they're going to end up joining the fray again, so everyone should be prepared for that. Hold on a sec. Anyway, as we see the Cypherport agents falling down, saying how Vegapunk talking about how there are many seas of the world and islands, and that some, and due to the fact how dangerous the seas are, some people just stick on the island they were born off and never learning another culture. You get some random silly things saying, yeah, everyone knows this. But Vegapunk's saying that, let's see, saying, but this shared understanding of the world does not really apply back to like a roughly 1,000 years ago, as we see Zoro's hometown's dojo, where kids are training with the swords, and his mentor listening in. let's see, as Vegapunk reveals that the cataclysm occurred during the 4th century, in which caused the world to sink before, and saying that they're now living on the pieces of a continent that existed once long ago, as we get in this double-page spread of an underwater sunk, let's see, I believe to be city, where we then cut to like the Revolutionary Army, let's see, members being shot, particularly Ivankov, and I believe it's Morley, and I guess even Cola, where she's covering her hands over her mouth. But Dragon looks on in sort of dead silence, and Sabo's just looking at a very serious anger face here. Let's see, saying that so as Vegapunk goes like the world of a millennia ago now slumbers unseen at the bottom of the sea. As so hold on. And then we're in cut to like Nami's hometown as they're listening in. With Vegapunk saying that one can assume in the past there were a number of continents about this, with the citizens going like this is so wild, with Genzo asking where Nojiko is going, saying because the world seems to be in danger from what Vegapunk's describing, but she's going like telling them asking Genzo to tell her about it later, and she's going to try and check on those tangerine groves, if you will. And this kind of shocks Genzo, because it's like, this is more important, as Vegapunk saying that if the world was still the same as it was in the past, then the act of erasing 100 years would be simply unthinkable and impossible. However, it makes much more sense when you understand that there's a rise of sea level over that of 200 meters. And this shocks the Marines at Head, going like, what? 200 meters? And they go like about how this is insane. As the Marines go like saying that these gigantic battleships are only 60 meters long, and they're going like, no, what? One of them going like, no wonder the whole world vanished. But another says, hey, don't get distracted by the story, saying that Cypherphone and the Sam came falling down to ground level. They got to go rescue them. And then we cut back to Mocktown. We're still mocking and laughing, with the exception, I think, of, hold on, let me just get it up. Mocktown, One Piece. Oh yeah, which appears to be the confirmation that the Roshu pirate captain there, or Roshu, is listening in seriously, while the others are all just laughing about how. Did you hear that? That silly man's lying. The old coot's cracking me up. No way is any of that true, showing that they don't believe it. And then we cut to the Jerry Boston Kingdom, or Chopper's Homeland, where Dalton's going like, how can such a thing actually happen? And you got the hold on. Drum Kingdom. I'm trying to remember the old quacks. I'm literally trying to remember her name, but I'm starting to get a bit tired, and I think my brain is starting to betray me. So, oh yeah, Kurai. Kurai is just going about just laughing about how saying there's still so much to learn about the world, or this world's interesting, depending on the translation. And then we cut to Baroque Works. Baroque. Hold on. Crocodile. Hold on. Baroque Works. Hold on. We cut to like Miss Golden Week, Miss Valentine, and Miss Merry Christmas, where they're listening in. Well, let's see, Miss Golden Week is just eating a snack, but some of the citizens are saying that mountain is just there over there. It's just 200 meters tall. So imagine the sea rising that high. It sounds like many people must have died during that event. And we cut to like Big News Morgan's report room where Vegapunk going like saying as for many of the sea levels rose so much during that century, it'll be natural to assume that the work of was a supernatural disaster, but reveals that in fact it was man-made. Man-made. You get Morgan shouting out, "This is crazy." Hold on a second. And I'm back, so I just needed to do something quickly. But anyway, what was I? Oh, yeah, Morgan saying that this is crazy, but you get Vivi shutting his mouth, doing the shush thing as Wapple's listening and seeing what they're doing. As Vegapunk explains how the cataclysm was caused by natural force, then all the initial disaster would have spanned several centuries, and it would be slow, but let's see, inflicted damage to the world. But judging by all the measurement, climatology, geology, environmental, and atmosphere and science, saying this drastic shift could not have happened within a single century. So he says the cause was something else. And when he detected the rise of worldwide sea levels the other day, he had his answer. As we see the three five elders that we saw in this chapter going like saying, looking stare-eyed, looking angry with what was being said, as Vegapunk says that I knew the cause and confirmed its existence, saying that it's the ancient weapons that sank the world into the sea 800 years ago. Revealing that they still exist today and awaiting the moment that they stir once again, saying that in other words, that war that arose during the Void Century never truly came to an end, as we see Emu in his butterfly garment staring in as we get a close-up of his of his silhouette face with like his cold-blooded eyes, ending the chapter. Okay, I do like how Vegapunk going like about how okay we all like can live in islands and everyone's like yeah done the sea's half rough, but then Vegapunk ends up confirming what appears to be like one of the biggest One Piece fan theories in a long time. Particularly, I think Mr. Melji did a video on it about how the One Piece used to be either one big continent, the world of One Piece used to be one big continent, or a few bunch of large continents, and we've got that confirmation. It's nice that we got Zoro's village listening in on it. So I do, granted, he's just not says anything, but he's clearly taking this very seriously. And I do like the little double page spread of like an underwater city that we end up seeing. And it's interesting that we actually get the Marines' reactions here. At least, let's see. Well, Dragon's there, but we don't actually see him react to anything. But we see like all his like commanders and top officers, particularly of I believe Morley, Ivankov, and Kohler. And I think if you use the vice captains, going like what? Or just having, oh my god, kind of like shocked thing. But you have Dragon and Sabo staring down. Granted, we have no idea how what Vegapunk may have already told Dragon about his death, but it could be possible that Vegapunk is giving Dragon a little heads up. He's about to reveal some very shocking stuff, so he might be listening in. But granted, I know that some people are criticizing Dragon for not doing anything right now, but I'm pretty certain after Vegapunk's message, after the events of Egghead, he's going to begin starting to do his move. And I think even Sabo's just listening in, probably thinking like, okay, it's just probably piecing what he's learned, what he recently learned at, let's see, the Levelly, and about the Five Elders and Emu, and wondering about how this might have a connection. At least that's my guess with the stone cold eyes that you see him doing. So we got that. And also nice to see Nami's home village, though granted, Nokijiko seems to not really have her priorities set. It's like, I'm going to go check on the Orange Tangerines. Right, see, even though Genzo says, like, you got to listen to this message. It's like talking about the fate of the world here. But granted, I suppose it is nice that she still wants to try and look after her mother's or tangerine farm, if you will. But we do know that it's eventually going to end up sinking because, well, if Emu fires the weapon a few more times, I think 5 more times from what I can recall. I can't recall if it's this chapter here. Well, actually, it was the last chapter, I think, when Doflamingo was laughing. But yeah, but once it's fired a few more times, that is gone, unless Emu decides, for at least temporary, but might be completely gone if Emu fires the weapon on Nami's hometown, which would be quite tragic, but I don't think he'll go that far. But yeah, at least doesn't really care where Nami comes from. But I do like how Vegapunk is just going on about how explaining about how, as a result of this continent thing, this explains why let's see, with most of the world sunk, it explains why the world doesn't know too much about the Void Century. Though I think that led some to question, what about some of the stuff before the Void Century? Because it seems like kingdoms have that, but it seems like everything else is like but they don't have a specific idea about this 100th Void Century, though. If I had to guess, the world government, might have erased most of what happened during the Void Century. There needs to at least keep some history of like some of the rulers and monarchies before the Void Century, just so that those countries can have some history, history to look at, but not too much that they learn about, like, the ancient kingdom. At least that's my guess. But yeah. But interesting, we learned that the world was actually sunk. It used to be, the water has sunk over 200 meters, which shocks the Marines, because like a Marine battleship is 60 meters. Now, I'm not recalling from the last stream, I kind of went like, I'm not sure about Americans using different metric systems, but I didn't really, made much a big deal about the whole, gave a clear detail on like 1 meter was for like a One Piece. But if I'm assuming that it's more of like what they do, similar to what they do in the UK, let's see for how they use the meters here. I don't really know much about the American math system, but I know they use different measurements and sizes compared to like us in the UK and Europe. But let's see, if I had to guess, one meter is roughly like 3 30-centimeter rulers and 1/3 of a fourth one, I guess. So like 100. So like 1 meter is like 100 centimeters, and then and probably like 1,000 millimeters. So arguably it's pretty tall, if you will, which makes sense with the battleship. So yeah, that would make sense. But it's like many of the Marines are just like all shocked by this, and it's like starting to believe Vegapunk. Now some are saying like still doubt, but going like focus, we gotta go rescue the Cyberpunk agents, which I suppose is nice of them. And there's also probably to retrieve the Sephram because they are vital war efforts. Granted, we see that Mocktown, the residents there still don't believe Vegapunk, despite all the evidence and facts he's brought up so far. But they think that he's gone crazy. All except I think Roslino, which I will admit, I'm a little annoyed that he's still alive after what Ben and me did to him in like a one-sided massacred fight. But granted, I suppose if he's at least returned, it seems like he's at least grown as a person, at least in Mocktown. It's one of the few people that doesn't seem to mock people's claims, or at the very least. But yeah. I don't like how Dr. Kurai is just like how this world is still like amazing and more to learn about. While Dalton is going like, can this truly be true? And even like how you got like the former Baroque Works agents listening in as their customers talk about how a mountain is 200 meters, saying that pointing out that yeah, probably a lot of people did die from the flooding from the last time this ancient weapon was fired upon. And given the fact they talk about how big the mountain is, it's like it'll be much more serious if Emu fires the weapon a few more times. But yeah. I do like how Vegapunk tries to like, well, everyone probably assumes it's a natural disaster, is in fact man-made, which gets Morgans to try and do some more good noisy questions like, hey, this can't be real, but you get Vivi, and top tier moment for her, shutting Morgans up, especially after when he did that ritzy one article that lied about what Luffy was actually doing with Vegapunk. Well, it became sort of half true when what happened to York, but yeah. But I do like how Vegapunk explains that after doing all kinds of the types of searches you can for like a scientist, realizing that if this gotta be man-made because the natural disaster will take over time. Yeah. I do like how with the readings he does confirms like the existence of the ancient weapons, and that they're being used in the current war, and that the war that they were used from is still technically ongoing. It might have officially ended, but there seems to be a war, but it seems like this war is threatening to return on the tenfold, and Emo, probably the only person alive, probably has a full idea of what's going to happen at the very least, or get some sense. But though granted, the Five Elves look very angry with Vegapunk, so yeah. But anyway, I do like that the world now knows that there are ancient weapons in the 4th century, and that the final war that we've been waiting for is a continuation of the Great War. So yeah, arguably I like that as well. Arguably, so yeah, that's all my thoughts. Arguably, I'd probably give this a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. The only witty downside, I think, is like Rossno being alive. So I would have brought back one character that we thought was dead. Though, granted, we never really saw a body, but yeah. Although I could be wrong. But either way, it was a pretty good chapter of like just building up suspense. We'll see. The Five Elders got some impressive feats with Hockey and Nesjuro slicing up half the lava face in a feat similar to Mihawk, which may start back the who's the strongest swordsman for Sora to fight debate. Luffy forced to run from Top Man Mokri, and Saturn showing that he has to he ends up showing his Conqueror's Hockey, but yeah. So after being pummeled by Kuma and Luffy later down the line, but yeah, we also got like Stussy having a bit of an identity crisis now that Stella's gone. I love some of the cameos we have, like a fake kid pirate, arguably hinting Kid's return. Foxy with like he's lost everything. Some people like the Mink tribes listening in on the thing, being excited about the news. While you probably have like Shanisa and Giant Robot just listening, remembering Joe Boy's defeat. A little silhouette of Joe Boy, of course. There's Joro taking on like a few giants, and Sanji and the member of the Worst Generation, and kind of Lab. Let's see, Nami getting annoyed at Zoro for like trying to for delaying them up. Let's see, I forgot to mention that earlier in my thoughts. I do like how Jim is carrying Zoro and Nami's getting annoyed at Zoro for just how long he took. But yeah. But also the fact that Mr. Moji was correct that the world of One Piece was once one big giant continent makes sense in that. Everyone's reactions to that, like the revolutionaries and the Marines, especially the 200-meter part. You got some skeptics from Mocktown. No, they're probably going to end up believing it soon once the world starts flooding. Crew and I just react like this is interesting. Vivi finally shutting up Morgan's, and of course, like the confirmation the ancient weapons are still active, and the Great War is still technically ongoing, with Emu ready to use them again. So yeah, arguably very good chapter. The only complaint I really have is Rosalind being alive, but it's only a minor nitpick. But yeah, either way, it is a fun chapter, and he's just something in the background. But yeah, it was a good chapter to review. Anyway, for those, and I think I'm ready to like head off now as I need to get some Z's. But for those who end up listening to this review, I hope you enjoyed what I had to say, especially you, Derpy Entertainment. I hope you enjoyed that. Hello there. Though granted, I figure you were going to do that with a Star Wars thing, which I will admit will be on tomorrow. Though granted, I won't review it straight away. And I've got a few things I got to try and do as well. But anyway, but for now, let's see. I have to head off, and I hope you all enjoy your day. I am Blue Star Saber, signing off. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.